Bong Joon-ho is back with Mickey 17, and we might just have our first truly great film of 2025. If you're familiar at all with Bong Joon-ho's prior work, then you know that he tends to make these very layered narratives that blend different tones together, and the same applies here. This is a very rich sci-fi film set in a bleak future that explores the notion of late-stage capitalism and the way the elite will exploit their workers and dehumanize them to where they are nothing in their eyes other than cogs in the machine that they can use for their own personal benefit. And you have leaders like the one played by Mark Ruffalo here in this film, who is not only incredibly foolish, but is very obviously just a puppet for corporate and religious institutions. But this is also a romance. There is a very compelling relationship at the heart of this film between Mickey, our titular character played by Robert Pattinson, and Nasha, who is played by Naomi Ackie. And I like the way the movie explored their dynamic, especially as they go through this really wild story. And honestly, I like the way the film captures it as well. There's just so much yearning and so much heart and so much passion there. And honestly, even forget Mickey, the film, the camera itself is just obsessed with her, and obviously, makes sense. But I think that aspect of the film surprised me the most in terms of just how earnest it is about their relationship. And I think it's one of the strongest elements of the film. And of course, this filmmaker is no stranger to comedy. A lot of his movies tend to have comedic sensibilities buried within them, sometimes more on the subtle side, but other times it's far more broad. And in this case, this is probably his most overtly comedic movie that he's done. It's a very zany movie, and it just tonally, but also with the way the characters express themselves, the way the movies showcase certain characters, and some of the weird stuff that they do. It's pretty wild and very funny, I thought. But it is a very, how do I say this? It's very obvious that this is coming from someone who doesn't come at this from a Western point of view. This is very obviously coming from a foreign filmmaker who's bringing some of his outsider sensibilities to the humor itself and the way it frames these characters and these situations. But I think that makes it for a much more interesting movie as a result. And I found it personally very funny and very engaging and entertaining as well. Bong Joon-ho brings in a lot of his usual collaborators here. The filmmaking is as great as you would expect. It's beautifully shot, the score is outstanding, the visual effects are stellar, and there's just a great sense of pace and momentum that allows the film to take its time but still give this sense of urgency in any given situation. So overall, I'm very happy with Mickey 17. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very entertaining, but it's also very interesting and thought-provoking. Everything that I kind of want when I go to see a movie. And I was a little nervous at first because it's been shifting dates around. It's been delayed for so long. And I think Warner Brothers doesn't seem to have a lot of faith in the movie. And I can understand that because it's definitely not going to be for everybody given how zany the tone is, but it 100% worked for me. And if you like Bong Joon-ho's work, then you'll probably enjoy this a lot. Just don't go into it expecting another Parasite, because if you know the breadth of his work that he's done before and the variety that he's able to bring to the table, then this is going to be another really good addition to that. So those are my thoughts on Mickey 17. If you've seen the film, feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments.